Welcome, Pokemon fans, to our journey through the world of spin-off Pokemon games. While the main series games are beloved by millions, did you know that the world of Pokemon has also expanded into a variety of unique and exciting spin-off titles? From photography adventures to puzzle games and even fighting games, the Pokemon franchise has something for everyone. In this video, we'll be exploring some of the most popular and memorable spin-off Pokemon games to hit consoles over the years. We'll take a closer look at their gameplay, mechanics, and how they differ from the main series games. We'll also discuss their impact on the overall Pokemon franchise and what makes them so beloved by fans around the world. So whether you're a longtime fan of the series or just looking for some new Pokemon experiences to try out, this video is for you. Get ready to journey through the world of Pokemon spin-offs and discover some hidden gems along the way. Before the video starts, take a second to leave a comment below and let us know what your favorite Pokemon spin-off is. Let's dive in. First up, we have Pokemon Snap. Pokemon Snap is an incredible first-person rail shooter game developed by HAL Laboratory and published by Nintendo for the Nintendo 64 console in 1999. The game's unique concept allowed players to take pictures of Pokemon in their natural habitats instead of catching them in battles. The game was a commercial success and was praised for its innovative gameplay mechanics and stunning graphics. The storyline of Pokemon Snap revolves around the player assuming the role of a photographer who has been hired by Professor Oak to take pictures of Pokemon on an island called Pokemon Island. Wow, that's creative. The player travels around the island on a vehicle called the 01 and takes pictures of their favorite Pokemon in various environments, such as beaches, caves, and volcanoes. Their pictures are then evaluated by Professor Oak, who gives you points based on the quality of the pictures. The success of Pokemon Snap led to the development of several spin-offs, including Hey You Pikachu, which was released for the Nintendo 64 in 2000, and New Pokemon Snap, which was released for the Nintendo Switch in 2021. Pokemon Ranger is a popular action-adventure video game series that was first introduced by Nintendo in 2006 for the Nintendo DS. The game was also developed by HAL Laboratory and Creatures Inc., and it quickly became a fan favorite due to its unique gameplay mechanics and captivating storyline. The idea behind Pokemon Ranger was to create a game that allowed players to capture and use Pokemon in a different way than the traditional Pokemon games. The first game in the Pokemon Ranger series was just titled Pokemon Ranger and was released in 2006. The game was set in the region of Fjord, hopefully I'm saying that right, and the player plays as a Pokemon Ranger whose primary goal is to protect the region from various threats. The game introduced a new gameplay mechanic that involved using a stylus to capture Pokemon. The player could draw circles around Pokemon to capture them, and once captured, the Pokemon would help the player progress through the game. The success of the first Pokemon Ranger game led to the development of several sequels. In 2008, Pokemon Ranger Shadows of Almia was released, and in 2010, Pokemon Ranger Guardian Signs was released. Both games followed a similar gameplay mechanic as the first game, but each had its own unique storyline and set of Pokemon. Pokemon Mystery Dungeon, Red Rescue Team and Blue Rescue Team. What if you woke up one day and you were a Pokemon? What if all of a sudden you find yourself in a new world where you can speak and interact with other Pokemon? That's what this game is. Pokemon Mystery Dungeon, Red Rescue Team, and Blue Rescue Team are popular spin-off games that were released in 2005 in Japan and 2006 in North America. The games were initially for the Game Boy Advance and Nintendo DS respectively, and were then later remade for the Nintendo Switch in 2020 under the name Pokemon Mystery Dungeon Rescue Team DX. The storyline of Pokemon Mystery Dungeon revolves around the player assuming the role of a human who has turned into a Pokemon and is now trying to find a way to turn back into a human. The game takes place in a world where only Pokemon exist, and the player must explore various dungeons, complete missions, and rescue other Pokemon to progress through the game. My absolute favorite part, actually, was recruiting Pokemon to adventure with me, especially the legendaries, like obviously Mew, right? That's my favorite. The game's storyline and gameplay mechanics were inspired by the earlier Mystery Dungeon series developed by Spike Chunsoft. The success of Pokemon Mystery Dungeon led to the development of several sequels, including Explorers of Time and Explorers of Darkness, which I've never played, but honestly I wouldn't mind trying those out sometime. Pokemon XD is my favorite of all of the spin-off games that I've played so far. Developed by Genius Sonority for the GameCube, this game is a sequel to the popular Pokemon Colosseum, which was released for the same console in 2003, 2 years prior. The game's unique concept, improved gameplay mechanics, and compelling storyline made it a fan favorite among Pokemon enthusiasts. The storyline of Pokemon XD revolves around a young boy named Michael, who is now trying to stop Cypher, an evil organization that is attempting to take over the world. The game takes place in a new region, or where the player must explore various areas, catch Pokemon, and battle against other trainers and Cypher members. The game introduced a new gameplay mechanic called Shadow Pokemon, which were Pokemon that had been artificially modified to be more powerful and held under the control of Cypher members. The success of Pokemon XD led to the development of several sequels, including Pokemon Battle Revolution for the Wii in 2006. I don't really understand how, since it wasn't open world, but I also played that one and I really enjoyed it, so it's fine. Pokemon Stadium, developed and published by Nintendo for the Nintendo 64, is a great example of what a Pokemon game can look like if you focus solely on the combat aspect of the games. This game was the very first of the series to feature 3D graphics for Pokemon battles, and it allowed players to battle their Pokemon straight from the Game Boy Pokemon games. The gameplay of Pokemon Stadium revolves around the player assuming the role of a Pokemon trainer who must battle against other Pokemon trainers in a stadium. The battles are turn-based and use the same mechanics as the Game Boy Pokemon games. Pokemon Stadium is one of the most beloved games from the Pokemon franchise. The game's innovative 3D graphics, turn-based battles, and ability to connect with Game Boy Pokemon games really helped it to be unique at the time. The success of the game led to the creation of a sequel, Pokemon Stadium 2, and solidified its place in the Pokemon franchise's history as one of the most iconic games in the series. And that concludes our journey through the wonderful world of spin-off Pokemon games. From the photography adventure of Pokemon Snap to the epic battles of Pokemon Stadium, we've explored some of the unique and exciting ways that the Pokemon franchise has expanded beyond its traditional RPG roots. Whether you're a longtime fan of the series or a newcomer to the world of Pokemon, these spin-off games offer something for everyone. And whether you're looking for a nostalgic trip down memory lane or a fresh take on the classic Pokemon formula, these games provide plenty of fun and excitement for players of all ages. So why not dust off your old consoles or fire up your emulator and dive into the world of Pokemon spin-offs? You never know what kind of adventure awaits you in this vibrant and diverse world, full of new Pokemon to discover and challenges to overcome. Thanks for watching, and happy gaming!